In this season of Level Up Stronger, we're speaking with women across the globe who have found careers in male-dominated trades industries. It's often hard for women to see themselves in these male-dominated careers, but there are a whole lot of kick-ass women who are not only working in trades, but thriving. So we explore how they got there, what it's like now, and get their advice on how they got started. In today's podcast, we meet Jackie Robinson, industrial HVAC technician, currently on maternity leave, showing us how she completely shifted careers and manages balancing motherhood and the trades. Welcome, Jackie, to the show. Let's jump right in. Why don't we start off by you telling me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Jackie Robinson. I am an HVAC apprentice. I started my apprenticeship about a year ago. I actually got the offer for the job on International Women's Day.
Awesome.
That was like super cool. It was like really empowering. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for about a year. I'm currently on maternity leave. I just had a baby a month ago. Life has been very crazy, very busy, but getting into the trades, my dad is an electrician.
Awesome.
Has been. He's worked in skilled trades at General Motors for, he's going on 45 years this year.
Yeah.
So he's been in there forever. So that was kind of my influence to like push me towards the trades, but I chose a different path and chose HVAC because I didn't get into the electrician slot for the apprenticeship. So I was like, well, the next best thing is HVAC. I'm like, let's try it. And then I originally got partnered. My journeyman that I got partnered with was a pipe fitter. Okay. And he tried to talk me out of the HVAC industry until I started doing the HVAC stuff and I fell in love with it. That's really kind of how I got started in HVAC. It was kind of like accidental when I tripped into it, but so far, I mean, I absolutely love it. And we do industrial stuff. We don't do residential.
Sure. Which is industrial and the commercial side of things are where you can make much better money than residential. Yes. It's a lot also, I think, less hours essentially, because it's more, at least on our side and the commercial side, it's really your 8 hours and then you get to go home. You know what I mean? It's not all the running around doing service calls late in the evening and weekends that you would do as a residential HVAC technician, but certainly takes a little bit different skill set. So did you go to school?
I'm currently in school now.
Okay. So you're in the apprentice program now.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. And tell me a little bit about that. What's that experience been like?
I went to school before and I wanted to get an associate's in paralegal. Like I really was leaning more towards law, or I wanted to be in law enforcement. I, at one point, was almost getting ready to leave my job to be a correctional officer because I wasn't in the apprenticeship program yet. And they came down and offered it to me and said, okay, we're going to pay for all of your schooling, all your books. We want you to go to school. And so far, it's been awesome. I've made the dean's list. I have a couple of awards from the school from being, an exceptional student. And I just found out yesterday, my other fellow apprentices told me that I actually got Apprentice of the Year last year with our company.
Awesome. That's
so
really cool.
This is crazy because I was like literally 9 months pregnant, climbing up on the roof and taking care of air handling units and doing everything. So it was just pretty much just second nature to me. So it was cool. But school has been different because it's kind of like learning a new language almost, because I'm trying to figure out how to juggle all my life stuff plus go to school. But my teachers are great. The company I work for is pretty good. They're pretty good about helping me with everything. But school so far has actually been pretty good.
What was it like being a mom and a woman? Because this is a question I get a lot is, as women, we have family goals, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you balance those family goals and being in the trades? Do you mind telling us how that felt?
When I got the apprenticeship last year, my husband and I had started talking and I was like, listen, I'm getting a little bit older. I finally got like a career opportunity. I think this is like the time that we want to start a family. And I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little bit older and he's in nursing school. So we're both extremely busy people and we love to travel and do things and we work hard, but play even harder. But when we were like, okay, we're going to try for a family, I got pregnant 4 weeks later. It happened like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I can't believe that we're going to have a baby. I just started this apprenticeship, but everything seemingly went great. I had a great pregnancy, so I was super lucky in that aspect.
Yep.
But my biggest thing was like, I didn't want people to pass judgment on me, especially because, we work in like such a man demanding thing. And it's like, I didn't want people judging me and saying, oh, great, well, now she's pregnant. Now I don't want to work with her. That actually happened to me. My second journeyman that I had got was an HVAC journeyman, and he had told me, there's no way that I can work with you. We're going to have somebody else come join us. And I'm like, you haven't even seen what I can do yet. So
Absolutely.
Why are you giving me the opportunity? And I ended up getting the opportunity to start showing him I knew what I was talking about, that I wasn't just some girl that they just willy-nilly gave an apprenticeship to, because there's only 3 women in our apprenticeship program, including myself.
Sure.
And I was like, you need to give me the opportunity to show you. I was lifting stuff, picking tools up on the roof. I was showing him how to do some stuff. I was troubleshooting more things than he was. And then once, I guess that respect was established, then it was fine. Then me being pregnant was not an issue. But like I said, being a new mom, because this is my first child, it was weird because I love going to work. I personally love to work.
Sure.
And it's weird now being away from work and just hearing from, I still go to school one day a week. And it was weird hearing from everybody yesterday because we had class and everyone's like, oh, you're Apprentice of the Year. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm missing out on all this stuff. And then we found out that, because I work at General Motors too, and I found out that we just took over because we're contracted out, but we took over some GM jobs where the baby boomers are now leaving and retiring. So they gave it to us and we take care of the chilled water plant. And these chillers only do half the plant. There's 2 chillers on each side. So it's just, I feel like I'm missing a lot, but being a mom, first and foremost, is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I love my son. We're looking forward to having another one because we want to give him a sibling, but
sure,
you can absolutely do it. I don't want people, and especially women, to ever think that you can't have a family and still dominate in a trade, because you absolutely can.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome that you are proving that that is possible.
Yeah.
And so that's super rewarding, I think, because it's a huge question for women. How do I balance work and family? And how am I going to be looked at? If I have to take a day off and things like that, because historically moms are generally the ones who have,
stay home with the baby.
Absolutely. So that's something that I think people in general, employers struggle with too. How do I balance that? And make sure that we aren't discriminating against women in those positions because of wanting to have a family and things like that. So you had mentioned some reticence from some of your colleagues in regards to you being a woman joining a team. So can you talk a little bit more about that and what you faced? Because I know this has been as I've been interviewing people, it's been a huge issue at times for some people. It's almost as if women have to work 10 times harder to even get a modicum amount of the same respect.
It's challenging. One of the girls that we do work with, she's an electrician apprentice. She shared her story with me and really had a hard time. Her journeyman, he's still a total jerk. He was old school. He would say things like, if you don't bring these specific tools, or she brought her tools out or something to go do a job. And it turned out that he said, I'm going to throw them across the effing parking lot, and just was verbally abusing her. All of this is just not necessary. I get what my dad and previous generations before me had to do as far as dealing with being an apprentice. Whether you were a man or a woman, it was you carry the tools, you do this work, you do that, shut up, don't say anything, do what you're supposed to be doing, and you're just supposed to watch. I get it, I understand, but we are in way different times now.
Absolutely.
And when I first started with my second journeyman, he was kind of the same way. He was upset that I was pregnant. He was upset because the girl that he worked with before, he worked with for 4 years. So he was familiar with somebody. So I could understand that. So I just tried to take it slow with him and tried to show him I knew what I was doing. I'm eager to learn. I was there to learn. But in the beginning, it was rough. It was a lot of name calling behind my back. So I eventually just approached him and told him that if he wanted to call me that behind my back, he might as well just call me it to my face.
Absolutely. Because
I would rather let's just have the conversation now so it can be done and over with. And it was ever since that day, the respect immediately came.
Sure.
I guess the advice I have for people is try to take it as a grain of salt, because every journeyman is different, whether it be a man or a woman. Mm-hmm. So that's a difficult thing to navigate around, especially when you're first starting out in a trade. and you're not familiar with all of the nasty shop talk that comes with it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yes. And I get it. I understand. And I've been around it most of my life. When I was in high school, I went to this thing called the Tech Center and we did automotive. That was my thing.
Yeah.
So I've been around working around like male dominated stuff for a long time. So then like when I decided to actually do the trades, I was like, well, I'm used to the way everyone talks. So yeah, I guess I'll just fit right in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you do have to have a little bit thicker skin about the way some comments and jokes and things like that are made, because you're really entering into their world for a minute, like because it's not yet equal enough to call it,
a woman's world as well. No, I agree. I agree with you.
For sure. And discrimination is definitely something that we're all probably going to battle for a while longer, because I think the stats are less than 10% of HVAC technicians are women right now. So that puts you definitely in a very small minority. So what's the most rewarding thing that you've found in this career?
Proving people wrong. A lot of people always told me, you can't do that. You can't do this. That was always my favorite thing growing up. You can't do this. Okay, take a seat. I'm going to show you exactly what I can do. Don't ever tell me that I can't do something, because I'm going to prove it not only to myself, but to you, and you're just going to look stupid. That's been really one of the most rewarding things, is being able to do that, especially now that I have my son. Like, I'm excited to show him like, hey, mom did this when she was pregnant with you, and mom did this, and she still accomplished everything, because you don't stop living. You don't stop living your life. But yeah, Absolutely. That's probably the most rewarding thing, is finding, like, just proving people wrong.
Mm-hmm. So you would say then somebody coming into this industry really needs to have a mindset of believing in themselves and stepping forward into their own, because it's really necessary, because you're going to come up against a lot of challenges. It's just guaranteed, right?
Yep, it is. It's just one of those things where you just, like you said, you have to have thicker skin. You have to believe in yourself, and you just have to go in there and just kick ass and take names.
Absolutely.
Don't take crap from no one. You're going to take a little bit of crap, unfortunately, because it's the trades. But another thing I guess I want to touch on is the sexual harassment portion of it. That's huge. Not necessarily at my plant, but I hear a lot of women that I've talked to that are in trades, because I'm in the UAW. So I'm heavily involved in our union and our local. And we work with a lot of women who are also in the trades, and some of their stories are horrific of what they had to go through coming up. So it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you had to deal with this or had to deal with that. And it was just like a hush-hush situation. It doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't.
Use your voice. Speak up, and you need to take care of yourself first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. I think women need to make sure that you are professional on the job, so no one can complain about you, and also don't tolerate those things, because really the law and all of that is on your side as far as sexual harassment is concerned. And it's unfortunate that companies allow that kind of stuff to happen. But there are a lot of good companies out there who don't tolerate that kind of thing, definitely are not sweeping things like that under the rug.
Yep.
And so I think it's really important that we are all, if we're ever going to get better, we have to be better in regards to a lot of that stuff. And so it's unfortunate. But yeah, I think that's probably the reason why a lot of people are afraid to go into the trades, because they're worried that there's rampant sexual harassment, which is not, I wouldn't say it's rampant, but there are enough horror stories.
Yeah, but there's enough to at least be due diligent behind it and make sure that you know what's going on and what's not, what you're doing and what's not going on. Like, it's like for sure, like a no touching policy. Unfortunately, catcalling is just something that unfortunately happens. But you don't have to deal with it if you don't want to. There's ways that you can take care of it.
So what's the number one advice that you would give somebody who wanted, like, let's say there's a lady at home who is thinking about changing careers, or someone who's younger thinking about going into this industry? What would be your advice for them on how to get started?
I guess the best thing to do is probably check Indeed. There's so many people that are hiring apprentices now. Start checking locals. Start doing your research about what trade you think that you might want to do, what piques your interest. Have you done anything like that before? Or is this like completely new to you? There's so many like questions like you need to kind of ask yourself. Just make sure you do the research. You kind of figure out what it is that you want to gear more towards, because every trade is so different. there's so many things that are so different. Are you good at math? Yeah, be an electrician. Hey, me personally, I'm not that good at math. So being an electrician was not going to be my strong suit, but there's a lot of math in every trade. It just depends on what you want to do. But I would gear people towards HVAC only because I personally love it.
Absolutely. And we need more people. We definitely need more people in HVAC for sure.
Yes, we have a lot of HVAC apprentices at my company now because they're literally all of the guys are getting ready to retire and we're getting ready to take everything over. It's crazy. But yeah, I would just do the research, make sure you know what you're getting into, start calling locals around you. And that's how I would have got involved if I didn't get the opportunity at work.
Do you find that the union is supportive of women and giving women, do you have opportunities within your union to support additional women?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It was just only us three that wanted the positions. There was the actual apprenticeship test was offered to multiple people at work and only so many people took the test and only so many people got placed. But we were the only three women that took the test and we are in the actual program. But yeah, the union, as far as the UAW and our local, is super heavily involved, making sure that everyone has an equal opportunity. Everyone gets the opportunity to work with different tradesmen so we can learn from other people because it's a huge site. So we work in different buildings. We're getting ready to be switched with a new journeyman. So when I go back from maternity leave, I'll have a new guy I'm working with, which is a little scary because you've learned and you've gotten comfortable with the person you worked with before. But yeah, our union's great. They're really good with making sure that everyone gets a good opportunity and we get to learn everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're super supportive.
We have a couple of job site locations that have union involvement. And I just frankly told them the other day that you guys are going to have to come up with some way to support more women and prove to me that you're doing it. Otherwise, we are not going to be working together. So
exactly. That's a good thing. How
to figure it out. So, because I think it's important that they're equally supporting women in joining these industries. So and that there's programs to support and draw more women in, because I think that's important.
It's extremely important. There's definitely longevity. People in general in it, but women, there's definitely not enough women in trades.
Absolutely. I am dedicated to figuring out a way to make this all work for everybody.
Absolutely.
And, I think that if you have had some success in working your way up in a company, it's your obligation to reach back and support other people and make sure that they're successful. So, that's really the whole intent here, is to help other women who are coming up to figure out a path and solution to really just survive. This is really about giving people opportunities so they can support their families. So
yes, absolutely.
There are so many stereotypes surrounding gender roles and trades industries, but powerful women like Jackie are knocking those back. No matter where you are in life, no matter what the circumstances are, you can decide to shift into a new career. And there are women like Jackie who are showing us that they can be successful new moms while working in trades. Despite the gender disparity, women can and do thrive in these industries. Jackie and others sharing their story helps us to see that if it's something you're passionate about, take the leap. At Level Up Stronger, we're striving to help women improve their lives, provide for their families, and build a career. And what a better place to do that than in the trades, where women can be recognized for their kick-ass competence, expertise, courage, and amazing craftsmanship. We encourage all women to consider these industries. Talk to a woman in the field like Jackie and get their perspective on how rewarding this experience is. This has been another episode of Level Up Stronger. Join us next time for more Life of Women in Trades and discover how you too can level up stronger in your life. Thank you for joining us on Level Up Stronger. For references to resources mentioned in this episode and to receive updates on future podcasts, check us out on social media or at levelupstronger.com. And remember, each time we take risk, educate ourselves, and apply what we've learned to our lives, we level up stronger. Each time we level up stronger, we have the opportunity to reach back and contribute to someone else's success too.